Здравейте! Гледахме филма за Майкъл Джексън и макар да ни хареса много, имаше неща, които не бяха показани, а ни се искаше да бъдат. Ние сме огромни фенове на Майкъл Джексън и сме нещо като енциклопедия за краля на попа. Прочели сме и сме изгледали всичко възможно за живота му в интернет и не само. Затова в това видео ще ви покажем какво точно не ви показа филма Майкъл. Майкъл Джексън е поп-икона, кралят на попа. Певец, композитор, танцор, иноватор, той разбива расови прегради и вродени стереотипи и се превръща в най-голямата музикална звезда на нашето време. Как се случва това ли? Ще ви разкажем. Майкъл Джексън се ражда на 29 август 1958 година в бедно семейство в Гари, Индиана. Живее в малка къща от 2 стаи с родителите си Джоузеф и Катрин, сестрите си Реби, Латоя, Джанет и братята си Джаки, Тито, Джамейн, Марлон и Ранди. Майкъл е изключително талантлив, харизматичен и интелигентен. Обичал е да чете много книги и се е интересувал от история, изкуство, философия. Можел е да рисува страхотно, като го е правил повече като хоби. Също Майкъл е ходил известно време на балет. Това обяснява, може би, и гъвкавостта му в танцуването. Майкъл е обичал да пътува и опознава света. Във филма представиха добре обстановката в семейство Джаксън, но има неща, които не споменаха. Майкъл израства в вярващо семейство като свидетел на Йехова. Майка му го възпитава строго според вярванията им. Свидетелите на Йехова не празнуват Коледа, рождени дни и други празници. Вярват, че човек може да има сериозна връзка само ако тя води към брак. Сексът преди брака е забранен. Тези неща са дълбоко проникнали в съзнанието на Майкъл още от малък. Майкъл смята майка си за светица и изпитва дълбоко уважение и любов към нея. Връзката с баща му, Джоузеф, обаче не е никак добра. Знае се, че го е биел, обиждал и малтретирал, което остава тежка психологическа травма в съзнанието на Майкъл. Толкова голяма, че когато е бил в присъствието на баща си, на него му е прилушавало от притеснение и дори е повръщал. Баща му го е наричал грозен, черен, с голям нос. Подигравал му се, че е имал пъпки и Майкъл наистина е смятал себе си грозен. Тези подигравки и тормозът, на който е бил подложен, са сринали още повече самочувствието на и без това стеснителния Майкъл, което е достатъчно тежко за едно дете, а още повече за фронтмен на група. Когато са пътували по турнета, Джоузеф е изневерявал на майка им с други жени. В началото, когато все още не са имали толкова много участия и пари, Джоузеф е резервирал участия в клубове, в които е имало и стриптиз. Когато са били на турне, Майкъл е спял заедно с братята си в хотелски стаи и те като по-големи са си водили момичета да пренощуват. Това не са клюки, това са думи, лично разказани от Майкъл в интервюто му с Башир през 2003 година. Това е продължило и по-натам. Майкъл разказва, че е съжалявал момичетата, които са отдавали девствеността си на братята му само за една нощ и дори е имало случаи, в които е казвал на момичета да не остават сами с братята му. Когато е бил на 15 години, член от семейството му буква сеанс с платени момичета за Майкъл с цел да го направят мъж, така да го кажем. Майкъл им казал, че не иска да прави нищо и цяла вечер си говорил с тях. Майкъл е бил прекалено стеснителен, вярващ и нравствен за подобно нещо. Той е имал романтична представа за любовта. Вярвал е, че един ден ще се влюби, ще се ожени и ще се отдаде на любимата си, ще създадат семейство и ще живеят щастливо. Това не означава обаче, че не е имал любовни трепети. Филмът не показа отношенията му с певицата Даяна Рос. Майкъл е влюбен в нея още от малък. Той я среща още когато е на 11. Тя представя за пръв път групата Джаксън 5 в Холивуд Палас. Преди да купят къщата си в Енсино, Майкъл и братята му са оставали в дома на Даяна Рос в Л.А., когато са имали участия. Майкъл е бил запленен от красотата, женствеността й, таланта й. Дайана Рос се превръща в негова муза. Много от песните му са написани за нея. Двамата имат много силна връзка. През годините на публични места винаги се е виждало колко са близки, като двамата дори често флиртуват. В друго видео ще разгледаме по-подробно отношенията им, но едно е сигурно – двамата са имали специална връзка. Майкъл е харесвал много и актрисата Брук Шилдс и признава, че е имал нейни постери в стаята си. Двамата са приятели и са посещавали много събития заедно. Първото гадже на Майкъл е актрисата Тейтъм О'Ниъл. Майкъл тогава е на 18, а Тейтъм на 14. Двамата често са били видени ръка за ръка, посещавали са различни събития. След смъртта на Майкъл, Тейтъм О'Ниъл говори за отношенията им в интервюта.
How long did you date Michael Jackson? Was it like 2 dates?
No. It was on and off for a few years.
Really?
And I don't think anyone knows this, Andy, but while he and I, because we did a lot of talking on the phone because he was always on the road. And
What era was this?
We're talking Dynasty. That was his first record with the Jacksons. So it was pre Off the Wall.
Pre Off the
so
Wall.
I'm 14.
Okay.
But I had met him when I was 13. So we did a lot of chatting.
And he's around your age?
He was 18.
Okay.
I remember he gave me his phone number, Havenhurst on an On the Rocks matchbook, which I still have.
As a teenager, she was seen at all the right places with other famous faces.
You know, you dated Michael Jackson, you're partying at Studio 54, you're hanging out with Cher.
Yeah, I was an adult. I didn't see a problem with it.
I took him to Hefner's house. Wow. And I am convinced that when he saw Hugh Hefner's, like, coterie, is that what you call it?
Of animals? You think that inspired his...
Absolutely, because he was so isolated that even me coming and bringing in just a little of life was so big for him.
I heard that he wanted to go out and just kind of be normal and not have everyone mob him, so he went in disguise. Because there's this picture of you where he's like almost in blackface.
Well, we were going to a Commodores concert, and he would put on blackface. Yeah.
Did it work? And people didn't recognize
People didn't
him?
recognize
But
him.
were they recognizing you?
Nobody recognized me at that point. But we stayed sort of private.
The Commodores, he wore full black face makeup to that for us to go together.
Really?
Yeah, so that was sort of our last date.
You mean he darkened his skin?
Darkened it,
Right.
and a beard and a wig.
Wow.
Like, he claims you were his first girlfriend. You know I'm going to ask. Did you?
I don't know. Well, he said I kind of made out with him once.
Is that all you did?
I thought that. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I think he made out with me, but he says I made out with him. It was a kiss. He was nervous.
I mean, so were you guys like fooling around? Because he, it's always talked about that he's very asexual.
Well, we kissed.
We
kissed, and I think it all got kind of screwed up because he got very mad at me about the whiz. So he later went on Martin Bashir and said something, I think negative. I'm not exactly sure, but I loved him and always will. And
But it was not necessarily a physical relationship.
No, I believe that he had that with other women like Priscilla.
You do.
Not Priscilla.
Lisa
Marie. Maybe perhaps Brooke. But
Друго гадже на Майкъл е певицата Стефани Милс. Двамата са заедно, когато Майкъл е на 19 години, а Стефани на 20. Двамата имат връзка около година. Стефани Милс по-късно признава, че тя е била лудовлюбена и е смятала, че двамата ще се оженят и ще създадат семейство. Тя описва Майкъл като много мил и грижовен и казва, че има много хубави спомени от връзката им.
Is it not true that many years ago, you and Michael Jackson used to go out?
Yes, it's true.
People don't believe he ever had a black girlfriend.
I was his only little chocolate drop.
Not even Michael Jackson? Then you used to date Michael Jackson?
I used to date Michael Jackson, but we were young.
But that was back in the 70s and 80s when people didn't kiss and tell. You know, you didn't kiss. Now everybody tells everything. But back then, we dated for a while.
This was during the time of when he was doing the Wiz movie and before that. See, I knew Michael before that because he used to come to the show all the time and hang out backstage with me. But Michael was really shy, but I was aggressive.
Oh, girl, you know, at that time, I was, 15, 16 years old? Every girl in America wanted to be Mrs. Michael Jackson, and I just knew that I was going to be Mrs. Michael Jackson.
I used to stay with him. Well, actually, we used to sleep in the same bed when he was shooting the Wiz movie. And you couldn't have told me I wasn't going to be Mrs. Michael Jackson.
And we spent I got a chance to spend a lot of time with him, especially when he came back. Well, he would come to the show almost every day and sit back and watch, and I got a chance to go to the house.
He ain't had that money yet.
Well, he was doing the Wiz, and we lived on Sutton. Well, not we, but we, he stayed on Sutton Place, and I used to stay there and go with him to the film and stuff.
I used to do Michael's laundry because I used to spend the night over there, and I used to do his laundry. This is the first time that I've ever told anybody that. He lived on Sutton Place, and he was filming the Wiz movie, and I used to go over and spend the night, and I would do his laundry.
Wow.
And we would go down to the laundry together. So Michael is not what they're all. He's very real, and and I've never spoke about that, but he's very just a regular kind of guy. We would do laundry together.
I did his laundry. Yes, I sure did. When he had his place on Sutton Place, I would spend the night and I would do his laundry. And I even cooked for him, too. Even though I couldn't cook, but I cooked. And you know what? Even as bad as it was, Michael was such a gentleman. He ate it.
And Andy Warhol took us out to dinner and did an interview. In fact, it's in Andy Warhol's book.
He took me to the set with him. He took me to the set
Early
with him.
mornings, did he take you to the set?
Yes, it was early in the morning.
Yeah.
You was washing clothes.
I was washing his clothes.
And then you cooked.
And then I cooked.
Now that sounds like an overnight visit. Did you go to Never Never Land?
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. I will say this. I did spend a lot of time, and I did spend the night.
I just enjoyed the ride. I was enjoying it, and I was in love with Michael, and I was having a great time, so I didn't care.
Early mornings with Michael. Yes. Having a great time. It's just one that I have to ask. Like, I feel kind of weird asking it, but did you guys ever had sex?
No, we never had sex. I never had sex with Michael. You know what I want to say? Michael is very much a man, and he was very loving. He was very caring.
And he was not soft. People thought he was soft. He was not soft.
Michael is a great kisser. I've kissed him. He's a great kisser.
Wow.
And he's very, very affectionate.
And I was really in love. I just knew I was going to be Mrs. Michael Jackson.
I thought I was going to marry Michael, but I'm a little too dark.
I really was. I thought I was going to marry Michael. I was so in love with Michael Jackson. I think every black girl and every white girl in America was in love with the Jackson vibe.
Why did you break up?
Well, because I wanted to get married and he wasn't ready to get married. And he wanted to experience other things, as we now see. So that's why.
And why did y'all break up? Why did y'all stop dating?
Because I didn't want to go to certain people's houses for dinner, I didn't want to do that.
The white people he started hanging around.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that.
They
don't
season
the
chicken.
Well, you just could probably see the devilish ways in them, and that's probably when you started to see the change.
I wasn't going to change myself. If I was too black, if my songs were too R&B.
I don't know what happened after Billie Jean and that huge success. He changed into something else, but prior to that, he was cool.
Did you guys stay in touch even after all of that?
We did. When he did the Bad video, he called me and he wanted my best friend, who was Greg Burge, to choreograph the Bad video. And I got in touch and they got in touch with each other. And then I went to visit the set. That was the first time I ever saw him when he had totally changed.
What did you think?
I whispered something. I whispered something in his ear.
What'd you say, Miss Miller?
I'm not going to tell you.
I'm very real with Michael. He knows I'm truly a black woman, so I approach him in a whole nother way.
Okay.
And
how many people have seen him in his drawers? I mean, really.
I guess it's not that many. Maybe Brooke Shields, Tatum O'Neal.
Right.
They've seen him. But Michael is very cute in his little underwear.
He was the most gentle, most kind person. He never said a bad word about anybody. I've never seen him upset. Never.
And he is a very, very sweet and nice man. He really is.
So the world wasn't ready for Michael because he had so much love for everything and everybody that he was misunderstood. He was truly, truly misunderstood and very, very unhappy in the last days of his existence.
When did he start changing? Like when you started seeing him lightening his skin and doing stuff with his skin?
I think when he became bigger. In entertainment world, they always tell you, because I was always black, I was too black, to this, to that. So they want you to cross over. So they tell you have to, not sing so soulful, so I think when he crossed over to pop, which I don't like labels because I think music is music, that's when he began to change, when he got all that success, and he had, I believe he had the wrong type of people around him.
Because the real truth is, in this business and this industry and in this world, is no matter how much money you have, as a black entertainer, you are still black. And that's what he realized. He was no matter, and he's the biggest selling artist in the world, but they treated him like he was just another black artist when his records began not to sell. And that pained him. And he went on that campaign of calling Tommy Mottola a racist and all of that.
He's not the only one.
And he's not the only one. But he learned later in his, because you're only as good as your last record. And that's what I realized early. You're only as good as whatever hit you have at that moment. Your history, my credentials and what I've accomplished means nothing.
He was so gentle and so kind. And he's not a pedophile. Not at all.
So why do you think he got caught up in that whole pedophile scandal?
Because Michael liked being around children because they were innocent. Even my brother Andre used to hang around Michael. And they didn't want anything from him. They didn't have an agenda. And I think that's why he liked being around children. They just liked to play and have fun. They didn't have an agenda, but most people around him had an agenda. They wanted something. I mean, I would go to Havenhurst and see mothers drop their daughters off to stand at that gate and wait for Michael.
Really?
Yes.
But he was very shy. He was never, ever a child molester. Never, ever. He's innocent. He was misunderstood, just grossly misunderstood, and he was before his time. And people didn't understand because he loved children. Children, they're not tainted. They're pure. And that's what he was always constantly looking for, whereas adults always wanted something from him, where children just wanted to have fun and love him.
Do you think it was strange, any of his behavior, like staying over with the kids, anything like that?
I didn't think it was strange.
Yeah.
No. I didn't think anything he did was strange. I think the public and I think people that are around him made it strange, and because he liked that, they made the story. But he's not that. He was the most gentle person, kind.
Michael was so sweet and so innocent, and I really don't think that this world was ready for the kind of person he was. You know what I'm saying? He was love, and that's all he knew was love, and that's all. And he loved children because children are innocent. They're not tainted, and they.
Ола Рей е екранната партньорка на Майкъл във видеото на песента Трилър. Тя също признава, че е била влюбена в него. Майкъл е бил с чувство за хумор, обичал е да разсмива хората и да флиртува. Ола Рей е била запленена от Майкъл по време на снимките на клипа.
Nearly everyone has attempted to imitate Michael Jackson's legendary dance moves, whether it's his signature moonwalk or his iconic Thriller dance routine. But what you might not have realized is that as the King of Pop progressed in his prolific career, his danceability improved, and in turn, the superstar challenged himself to perform more and more elaborate dance routines, executing some moves that fans and professional performers have come to realize are almost impossible to recreate. His routines took years of practice, stamina, and an almost supernatural ability to move his body. So, here's just 5 of them that were so intense, even his own backup dancers struggled to keep up. Number 5. Jam. Jam is a track from Michael Jackson's 1991 album Dangerous. It features a fusion of pop, rock, and hip-hop, showcasing Jackson's signature vocal style and energetic production. Lyrically, Jam emphasizes themes of unity, celebration, and the power of music to bring people together. The nearest MJ would venture into rapping, its fast-paced sound wasn't helped by its energetic choreography. As showcased when the superstar performed it as the opener of his Dangerous World Tour throughout 1992 and 1993, as well as his groundbreaking Super Bowl halftime performance. The dance routine for Jam is iconic, reflecting Jackson's innovation in dance. Erupting on the stage with his toaster entrance, it combines elements of street dance and athletic movements featuring intricate footwork, sharp turns, and synchronized group formations. The routine often includes dynamic interactions with dancers, highlighting Jackson's ability to engage and energize the audience. Michael's own backup dancers described it as one of the hardest routines they ever had to perform. Why? Because the choreography was so high energy and extremely technical. You weren't just dancing, you're practically doing a full-body workout, and you had to stay in sync with MJ's lightning-fast moves and the stage's synchronized pyrotechnics. There was no room for mistakes, and the sheer volume of dance styles the routine drew upon meant you had to be technically an all-rounder. Number 4. Dangerous. The title track from Michael Jackson's 1991 album. The track showcased the superstar's signature blend of pop rock and new jack swing during this period, exploring themes of seduction, allure, and the complexities of love, featuring a driving beat and intricate instrumentation. Jackson's vocals convey a sense of urgency and intensity, making it a standout track that warranted an epic performance to accompany it. The routine for Dangerous was perfectly executed during the 1993 American Music Awards and was then incorporated as part of the set lists of the final leg of Dangerous World Tour. Equally as compelling, characterized by its sharp, powerful movements and intricate choreography. Jackson employs a mix of street dance, martial arts, and fluid body movements, creating a visually dynamic performance. Let's not forget, this performance was live. He didn't have the luxury of editing or doing second takes like in a music video. Everything had to be perfect, and therefore Jackson was known to practice and practice and practice once again to get every movement perfect. He once said that his father taught him to work on a routine so much that it feels second nature to you that you don't even have to think about the next move because it's so ingrained in your mind and body, you just do it. All that practice would have inevitably helped with the King of Pop's stamina because Dangerous is long. For over 5 minutes, the global icon glides across the stage, strikes dramatic poses, performs synchronized group formations and complex transitions between fast and slow movements, yet at the end, barely looks like he's broken a sweat. The performance was one of his and his fans' all-time favorites. Therefore, an updated Dangerous mix was performed at the 1995 MTV Video Music Awards, where Jackson added musical ad-libs and dazzling visual cues. For most people, just learning the steps would be hard enough, but trying to add the emotion, the intensity, the storytelling that Michael infused into every move, that's where things go from difficult to impossible. MJ would go on to perform Dangerous on his History World Tour throughout 1996 and 1997, as well as during many other later performances. Undoubtedly one of his favorite tracks. Number 3. Remember the Time. The last of the Dangerous era. Remember the Time is a song by Michael Jackson, features a smooth blend of R&B and pop, and with a catchy melody. A nostalgic theme focused on love and reminiscence, with lyrics that reflect on a past romantic relationship, evoking feelings of longing and fond memories. The music video for Remember the Time is one of the most visually distinctive. Its Egyptian-themed dance breakdown is iconic and showcases Jackson's signature style. Using dance as a vehicle for storytelling, like in his zombie-inspired moves in Trilър, his hieroglyphic-inspired choreography combines fluid movements, sharp gestures, and dramatic poses. The routine requires your whole body to be in sync to create the dynamic and juxtaposing moves. Using elements of street dance, the routine could be mistaken for an aerobic exercise class in some parts, and demonstrates Michael Jackson's determination to continually push the medium of dance. This choreography may have been too hard for the legendary performer himself, as the King of Pop decided against including this hit on his Dangerous World Tour, after practicing the number during rehearsals and never attempted to perform the routine live. There's even a theory that MJ faked an injury ahead of the 1993 Soul Train Awards before a live performance of Remember the Time because he wasn't confident enough in the choreography. Instead, he sat in a throne for a majority of the performance and used crutches throughout the awards ceremony. Number 2. Scream. Scream is a powerful duet by Michael Jackson and his sister. Released in 1995 as the lead single for his album History, the song addresses themes of frustration, media scrutiny, and the pressure of fame, featuring a hard-hitting beat and intense vocals. Its lyrics express a strong desire for liberation and a call to scream against oppression and negativity. Janet, being arguably at the top of her pop powers at this time and known more for her exceptional abilities as a performer rather than her vocals, this was the siblings' chance to go to war. The track's dance breakdown almost feels like a battle. It's dynamic and high energy, showcasing both artists' exceptional choreography as they fought to keep up with each other. The performance features sharp, synchronized movements and intricate footwork, with elements of street dance and contemporary styles. The aggressive choreography emphasizes the song's themes of anger and defiance, using powerful gestures to create a visually striking experience. This routine was insanely difficult, even for them. The choreography is lightning fast, and if one person's even half a second off, the whole routine looks off. So every movement, every step had to be perfectly in sync. 1 second hitting a hard, fast move, and the next they would glide into something smoother. The family duo never performed the track live together, but Michael did incorporate the track into his History World Tour setlist as the show's opener. However, he performed more improvised moves and didn't attempt the dance breakdown, which would have been near impossible in his elaborate costume. Although after MJ's sudden death, his sister decided to honor his big brother by performing Scream, including their iconic dance breakdown at the 2009 Video Music Awards, reuniting one last time on stage together as she perfectly executed the near-impossible routine with Michael appearing alongside her on the video wall behind. Number 1. Too Bad. Ghosts. The very last and near impossible routine to recreate is from his 1997 epic music video Ghosts, and the dancing featured for the track Too Bad. From Jackson's 1995 album History, the track features a catchy, upbeat rhythm with elements of hip-hop and rock. Lyrically, Too Bad addresses themes of self-empowerment and resilience when faced with adversity, the chorus emphasizing confidence and the idea of overcoming challenges. The dance routine for Too Bad is vibrant and energetic, showcasing some of Jackson's signature style. The choreography includes sharp, precise movements, intricate footwork, and dynamic group formations. The routine features a blend of street dance and theatrical elements, emphasizing the song's themes of strength and attitude. Most people can't switch between the two styles with the kind of ease that Michael did. But what really makes Too Bad impossible to replicate is the energy. Jackson and his dancers move in almost unnatural and strange ways that is befitting of its video's themes of the undead. The choreography and the Ghosts short film complemented by elaborate visuals and storytelling, further enhancing the song's message and the track's overall visual impact. Michael Jackson would often incorporate playful interactions with his dancers, highlighting his charisma and stage presence. So, what makes these routines so impossible? It's not just the choreography, but it was Michael Jackson's ability to become the music. No matter how much you practice, you'll never be able to capture the magic he brought to every move. So, the next time someone tries to copy a Michael Jackson routine, just remember, there's a reason they call him the King of Pop.
Okay, if I saw Michael today, what would I ask him? I would ask him if he really loved me.
Front row seat, and they danced in front, and I got to watch perfection. That's what I got to watch. Michael just kept saying again and again, and again, and every time he said it, they just went back into place, and they just started dropping it, and they was doing their thing. It was great.
Did you see Michael for the first time?
For the first time, I saw him in the dressing room.
And then he's coming in? And he says,
I just kind of,
Hi, Michael.
I'm Michael.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And you melted?
A little bit.
No, were you excited to see him?
Yeah, I was very excited. Yes, this is where I first met Michael. He had sent the limo to pick me up that night. I was really nervous that night. So a friend of mine was at my house and was like saying they were smoking pot. And I don't smoke weed. And he was like, take a puff off of this. He said, that'll relax you a little bit. And I'm like, okay. I took a puff off of it. By the time I got here, I was like so high. Because, when you don't smoke weed, one puff will do you. And so Michael, when he gave me a hug and kiss and everything, he looked at me and he said, have you been smoking weed? And I said, no. And he said, do you smoke weed? What? And I said, no. I said, Michael, I'm so sorry. I said, somebody was at my house and they told me if I took a puff, that would help me relax a little bit. And I said, but I'm sorry, I really don't smoke weed. And he looked at me and he started laughing so loud. He loved to tell jokes. He's fun to be around. He's always telling jokes and trying to make you laugh.
He was always tickling my feet, trying to make me laugh. We had so much fun. He would get really into character once he put that werewolf outfit on. He was always jumping out behind doors trying to scare me.
Michael Jackson isn't Michael Jackson as a werewolf. Michael Jackson is another person totally with the mask.
We were looking at the scene, and he was telling John, because I was screaming so loud and so much, and he's like, John, are we gonna keep her scream in the whole time? And Michael was saying yes. John was saying yes, we're gonna keep it in. He's like, oh, okay.
It was crazy. It was like you see down there where that car is.
Yeah.
They had it blocked off, and there were like hundreds of people down there. Michael and I would come out and wave at them, and they would just scream their heads off.
And Michael would run out, and the fans would see him, and they would scream, and they would be so happy. And then Michael would push me out. And he's like, okay, it's your turn. And I would go out there, and they were like all quiet. Nobody would say anything. And then Michael would laugh at me, and he said, it's okay. He said, they're going to know who you are sure enough one day.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I felt like I was the most luckiest girl in the world.
Wow.
I had Michael singing and dancing around me while I did my little thriller walk. Okay, so before we did this scene, I asked Michael, I'm like, so Michael, what do you want me to do? Where do you want me to kiss you? And he said, well, where do you want to kiss me? And I said, well, I don't know yet. And he said, well, you can kiss me wherever you like.
So I said to him, I don't know yet. And so when they said action, I just reached up and kissed him on his cheek. But yes, there is definitely a second kiss, but you guys, it was behind closed doors.
What point did you realize you were falling in love with him?
When we did the dance scene, when he had to walk around me and flirt with me. Just coming from out of the movie theaters, when I did the little walk, dun, 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 to the beat. And he had to dance around me and flirt with me. That was when I was like, oh my God. It's like, Ola, I could not believe I was the girl. I was the one chosen. Yeah, there was a second kiss and a lot more.
Were you ever intimate with Michael Jackson?
No, I wasn't intimate with him, but we did have our intimate moments together. We spent a lot of time talking and, sharing different things. But no, it's nothing like that, even though maybe I would like to have been, but no. I think at the time he was into Brooke Shields. He kept playing with me and teasing me. It's like, Brooke Shields here, and I was like, Sam, well, I don't care. I really didn't want to know that, but...
When did you tell him that you were in love with him?
I didn't tell him. And that's one thing, I hate the fact that I didn't get a chance to really tell him how I felt about him.
You don't have contact anymore with Michael, or?
Филмът Майкъл ни хареса много. Актьорската игра беше страхотна, както и музикалните изпълнения, но на нас ни се искаше да ни покажат повече за живота на Майкъл зад маската, на реалния Майкъл. В следващи видеа ще продължим да повдигаме завесата за истинския живот на Майкъл Джексън. Ако това видео ви е харесало, ви молим да натиснете палец нагоре и да се абонирате за канала ни. Желаем ви успешен и усмихнат ден!